I love
off the show, marketing, publicity, and you mentioned something that people were trying to attach themselves to your pockets. Tell us about some of the things you got to do to prepare yourself, even for after the show, for, the good people and the not so good ones.
Well, life changes immediately. I mean, when you go there, you have a team of people that kind of trying to, they kind of give you some little tips here and there, like just know that regardless of how this goes, as long as your product is quality and you're a likable person, you will be successful. However, without a deal, only a certain percentage of people and a very small percentage are successful because you don't have that capital in advance. And I was one of those people. I did not have the capital in advance because, for one, I didn't get a shark, and for two, I just didn't have enough to sew into my brand to get me out of my apartment.
Okay.
And so for me, it was a very unique situation because my product is very niche. So after I left there, I got thousands. And when I say thousands, I mean thousands of emails and phone calls from people that said they saw me on the show. They were so motivated by me. They loved the fact that I stood up and I represented my brand and I didn't fold over. I didn't show any sadness. I said, well, thank you, and I'll take that and raise you one. And it was women and men from around the world that had such positive, great feedback. But then also, of course, with that comes people that feel like, oh, I know if I was her, I would do this. If I was her, I'd have done that. Yeah, it's a very shoulda, coulda, woulda situation because it's unnerving to stand in front of five multi-millionaires that in your mind you feel hold your brand's livelihood in their yay or nay of an investment. Now, of course, that's how I felt then. But afterwards, when the orders came in and they flooded me, and I'm looking at my second bedroom and I'm looking in the closet where I would make my products, and I look in there, I see 100 soap bars, and we sold 10,000 units in 4 hours.
Ouch.
So, yeah. So it was very overwhelming, but it was so humbling. I think I literally, the first 3 days after that, I did not sleep, Eugene. I literally... No, I was like a zombie because it felt so unreal. It felt like I was living someone else's life.
Wow. Every
time you turn around, someone's on the phone, wants to interview me. Someone wants to talk to me. Someone wants the product. I mean, it was crazy. People were like, yeah, I'm trying to find out where I can come pick the product up. Well, we didn't have any retail locations but my brother's shop. And he said when he went to his shop the next day, it was a line wrapped around the corner of people waiting on him to go to his shop. He didn't have enough inventory.
He had 100 bars in the closet, right? So
yeah. And what they didn't understand was when people saw me in December, they thought, oh, she just taped this. That it doesn't happen like that. I didn't just tape that then and walk off the stage. So people were like, how are you going to go on Shark Tank and you're not prepared? And I'm like, sweetheart, I had no financial injection in my business.
Right.
And I'm doing the best I can. So I had to literally take off that, yay, I got able to be featured on Shark Tank. I had to take that hat off and put on my humble business person hat and literally take these calls of people that are saying, so what do you mean I'm not going to get my product for a month?
Oh, man.
What do you mean I'm not going to? So I had to express it to people, and you'd be amazed at how many people were like, oh, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you'd have just had thousands of units sitting up waiting.
I don't know why they think every business owner has, $1 million of product sitting in the basement ready to move.
Yeah.
Even if you had the injection, you probably wouldn't have set it all in $1 million of inventory, I'm guessing.
No, because you can't top your funds like that. But that's all the ins and outs and the little pieces of business and entrepreneurship that that's not textbook stuff there. That's stuff you kind of got to learn as you go along.
Right. Well, I've definitely enjoyed learning from you. We've been talking to Lydia Evans of swagessentials.com right here on Radio for Small Business. You can check us out, homebabiz.com. Do us a favor. When we put this show on, like it, share it, tweet it, whatever you can do to it, because Lydia, I really wish you much success. Why don't you give the listeners a way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, which is swagessentials.com. You can also find us on pretty much every social media platform. On Facebook, we're on Swag Essentials, one full word. On Twitter, and I also have an Instagram. Everyone loves to connect with me on Instagram, and that is at swag_essentials. And that's the Twitter and the Instagram. And as far as if you want to get in contact with me personally, or you have a question for me, you want to connect with me personally, go to our website, hit up the contact form, put your purpose of contact in there. And if I don't contact you back directly, my customer care manager or my assistant will.
Awesome. Lydia Evans, swagessentials.com. Thank you for taking your time out here on homebabiz.com.
Thank you, Eugene. Have a great day.
Connect, capitalize, go. All new Radio for Business.
It's the podcast for business.
After that, I'm not doing people's lunch dishes.
Highlighting the best emerging talent.
Oh my God, all these people that have gotten the product and wrote up on it. That's amazing.
The podcast for business, live every weekday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
If I think positive about the results, only positive results are going to come to me.
You never know what you'll hear.
If we didn't have that foundation, I don't think I would have had the balls. Well, I don't have balls, but
hey, you can say it. We're on the internet. It's okay.
Okay, I wouldn't have had the guts to do that.
Connect, capitalize, go. All new Radio for
You've got some more.
Working out. So we're on the market, and what that means is we're the only hand protection that's made based off of your ring finger size. It allows for a custom fit and the ultimate protection to keep you from ripping and tearing while doing high-intensity barbell movements or pull-ups or things like that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you guys on TV quite a few times in quite a few places. Tell us about some of the experiences that, some of the reasons that I guess people who work out would need it as far as, not ripping skin. Does it really make that big of a difference?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our primary market is the CrossFit market, the functional fitness space. Also, gymnasts use our product. Even landscapers can. So it's anybody that's in an environment where they're going at such a rate of speed as far as like barbell cycling or pull-ups or different movements that causes a lot of friction and can cause for your hands to rip or tear. Gotcha. Now, where'd you come up with the concept? Well, ultimately, I mean, I was having that problem. And so my husband, I got sick of listening to me complain about my hands ripping and tearing while working out. And he knew that I had tried everything out there on the market and that nothing was working for my small hands. And so he said that he thought he could make something to solve my problem. And he did just that. And some other people saw it at the gym and went crazy about it and wanted to buy it. And so that's when that magical light bulb moment, happened. And I thought, well, hey, maybe we have something here. Really, it's wonderful to hear entrepreneurs and business owners talk about them having something that they're using and everyone else gets excited about it. Was it 5, 10, 15, 20 people who said, hey, this is pretty cool, you got to give it to me before you decided that it might be a business opportunity, or was it more than that? Honestly, it was one person. It was one person that I had never met before. We were starting to work out at the gym, and it was 100 pull-ups for time, and she was in from out of town, and she got emotionally distraught about the workout, and I had never met her before, and I asked her if she was okay, and she said, yeah, I'm just worried I'm going to rip and tear my hands. And I said, oh, try these things my husband made. And after the workout, she came sprinting towards me, and I didn't know if she was mad at me or happy with me. I didn't really know what was going on, and she said that she wanted to know where I got them, how could she get more of them, she wanted to pay me for them, and it was just that authenticness of how she had the same exact problem I was having, but I had solved it for her. And it was just a life-changing moment for her where it was just on her face that she couldn't have been more thankful. Wow. And when you have one of those kind of interactions with somebody, I mean, it definitely, stuck in my head for the rest of the day, and all I could think about was, okay, how can I tell my husband about this where he can see how important it was to her, because he wasn't there to witness it happen. And so when I went home that night and I told him, when we were sitting in the kitchen making dinner, he thought I was crazy. He was like, no one's going to buy these things. That's ridiculous, Ashley. And so I just said, well, let me try. Let me try. What do we have to lose if I don't take any of our money, out of our savings? If I just start a Facebook page, just let me try. And so he said, sure, go right ahead. No one's going to buy them. And here we are almost 4 years later, and over $1 million in sales. So wow. things can escalate quickly. So. We're talking to Ashley Drake of the Natural Grip right here on HomeBuzzBiz.com. It's radio for small business where you connect, capitalize, and go. Ashley, you talked about how your husband actually created the product. Now, do you guys work the business together, or is it pretty much your baby that you run with? Well, I am the CEO. There's no doubt about that. He is the COO, Chief of Operations. I'm actually still active duty, so I work full-time for the Army, and so I'm not able to really focus on the business stuff until later in the afternoon when I'm done with my Army requirements. And Justin runs the the production facility from 9 to 5 every day, or later if necessary.
Gotcha.
So we're both fully committed, but he runs the day-to-day stuff, and I kind of handle the high-level stuff.
Gotcha. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when you were on Beyond the Tank, I watched that show a whole lot. I know you were thinking about making a big decision as far as the full-time job goes. Has anything else changed with that since then?
Yeah, no. I mean, I had made the decision to get out of the military, and so that's been communicated to the Army, and they're tracking that. It just takes time for that to kind of go through the process. So my commitment's not up until next October, and so I'll fulfill my commitment that I have for my term of service, and then I'll go ahead and transition out. It's just it's not something anybody should take lightly, and it takes time. So that's why there was a topic then, but still hasn't, been executed yet.
Absolutely. We're talking to Ashley Drake of The Natural Grip. HomeABiz.com, connect, capitalize, go. Ashley, you mentioned something about, wanting to quit the full-time job, and your job is actually more important than probably most of all others out there. A member of the United States Army. We thank you for your service. So what were some of the things and details that you had to think about and consider before you decided to walk away from that safety net, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, definitely getting paid on the 1st and the 15th, an officer's salary is a big thing to walk away from. I mean, ultimately the business does play a role in it, but in addition to that, we have a daughter. She's 5 years old, and so becoming a mom and continuing in the service is a difficult decision point kind of for any female soldier, enlisted or on the officer side. So I tell everybody, the company has played a role in the decision, but ultimately I want to be there for our daughter, and I'm very thankful for the military career that I've had, and I know that I could go very far in the military, but I also take my responsibility of being a mother very seriously, and your priorities change as you get older and things change in your life. So Ellie is more important than my Army career, and therefore I need to focus on that.
I don't think anyone will fault you for making that decision. Definitely a member of the armed forces. Even, my father and both of my brothers have served in different branches of the military. So definitely thank you for your service with that. We're talking with Ashley Drake of The Natural Grip. Now, you mentioned something. 3-4 years in to the business, $1 million in sales later. I mean, you go back to your husband saying it'll never sell. When you sold your first 6 figures, what'd he say?
He said, he said, okay, now what? And I said, well, we keep going, I mean, it was just kind of like that. He, he was skeptical at first, but, when we started the business in May of 2013, by the end of that year, we had done $60,000 in sales. And so that was kind of the moment like, oh man, this is legitimate. We got to worry. The tax man's going to be interested in this, we've got to be interested in this, what are we going to do? And it was really a decision point, were we going to walk away or were we going to continue on that path? And, luckily my husband had the opportunity where he could, change his profession and take the production on full time. So, he's just as committed as I am to making this successful, and every day we're surprised, by the growth of the company, but we're putting in the level of work that it takes to make that a reality, and there's no wasted time in our family. So we're here as long as it takes, and plus some.
So why don't you tell the listeners how to get more information about The Natural Grip?
Yeah, the best way is social media. We're very active on all of our social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you're just interested, kind of want to check us out or start following us, I highly recommend, at The Natural Grip. And we're on all those platforms. And then also you can check out our product on our website, www.thenaturalgrip.com, and you can order a pair for right there from our website.
Awesome. Ashley Drake with The Natural Grip, CEO, might I add, right here. Thank you for taking your time out on HomeABiz.com.
Thank you for having me.
Connect, capitalize, go. All new Radio for Business.
It's the podcast for business.
After that, I'm not doing people's lunch dishes.
highlighting the best emerging talent.
Oh my God, all these people that have gotten the product and wrote up on it. That's amazing.
The podcast for business, live every weekday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
If I think positive about the results, only positive results are going to come to me.
You never know what you'll hear.
If we didn't have that foundation, I don't think I would have had the balls. Well, I don't have balls, but
Hey, you can say it. We're on the internet. It's okay.
Okay, I wouldn't have had the guts to do that.
Connect, capitalize, go. Inside the mind of the owner. Radio for small business. Connect, capitalize, go.
It's Eugene Rowe with the Radio for Small Business. Visit homebiz.com for great interviews, tips, tricks, hints, and everything with real entrepreneurs. Connect, capitalize, and go. Okay, this guest built his business from the ground up. It's built by a passionate and driven brother-sister millennial team in their hometown of Carmel, California. Skylar, Scarlett, welcome to Radio for Small Business.
Yeah, Eugene, thank you so much for having me.
Now,
pleasure to be on your show.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Glace Cryotherapy, that's your business. You guys just had a big appearance on national television. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into some specifics.
Yeah, no, so we, my sister and I, we, found a new therapy in America, and we dove right into it in our hometown, tiny Carmel, California. Only has a population of 4,000, but we really saw a quick success. And we applied to Shark Tank, I think, when we were 7 months in business, and fortunately for us, we beat out 70,000 other entrepreneurs to appear on season 7, episode 20.
Wow.
And have just kind of taken off ever since. And it's been quite the journey for us so far.
So, Skylar, you already said 3 things I've got to ask about. First of all, you work with your sister. You know, a lot of people have sibling rivalries and things like that. How do you all get along, and how do you make the business run?
That's a great question. Honestly, we're 6 years apart, and when we grew up, we hated each other. So that's a great question to ask. I think the thing is, we're actually the perfect team. I'm kind of the big dreamer who, I think I could open 1,000 locations in a year. And she's more reserved and more the container. And, she makes sure that we're organized and balanced and we don't rush into anything. So we kind of balance each other out, and we have different strengths. I'm really the science guy, and, she's very good with paperwork and being organized and marketing.
Gotcha.
So we kind of have our different areas that we focus on. You want to have a good entrepreneur team, you need to have both types of people. Someone who is a big dreamer who really, is very optimistic, and then you need to have someone who's more reserved, because the combination will really balance you out in the long term.
Right. And I've got to applaud you, because I've done business with family before, and it was weird because I ended up having to fire them. And they weren't as motivated as you two were. I mean, where's the drive come from with your business, Glace Cryotherapy?
Yeah, there is so much motivation between us both. When we started it, we were both kind of in a low spot. I had just been dumped by my college sweetheart. She broke my heart. And,
man.
I was very motivated to, go out there and conquer the world and succeed. And my sister, had just gone through with the job where she had a horrible experience for 3 years. She come home crying from her job. And so didn't really know what she was going to do with her life. And we kind of came together and found this cryotherapy and said, hey, this therapy is amazing. Can we make it work? So we said, yes, we can. We'll do it in Carmel and, make this thing, which bring cryotherapy to America. So when we started, we were definitely at a low point. But, we both had the motivation to say we want to have better lives. We want to feel something inside of each other and, make this happen.
Wow.
That's really where the motivation comes from.
So even though two big personal, I guess, low points, like you said, you came out with a great idea, obviously, and then you're in business for 7 months and you beat out 70,000 applicants for Shark Tank. What do you think set you all apart from the other 69,993 applicants?
Well, first of all, I think we're lucky that we have such an interesting, therapy that we work with. I mean, first of all, when people say, oh, man, you freeze people for 3 minutes, it really catches people's attention. So first of all, cryotherapy is just different. It's a brand new industry here in America. So I don't think they'd ever had seen any audition tapes or anybody go in there and auditioning for cryotherapy. We're probably the first. And then also the fact that we're brother, sister, and people go, how do you work with your sister? How do you work with your brother? And, we're both very, very passionate. And they could see that in our audition video, how passionate we were. And I think we really knocked it out of the park with our audition video. It's probably the hardest stage you got to get past when you're playing the Shark Tank. And, we made a good 10-minute video. I kind of popped out of the crowd on like a Jack in the Box. And They told us that the producers just loved the video, and I think that's really what set us apart.
So not only are you working with your sister, not only have you been in business 7 months and all of a sudden you get on Shark Tank, but you're also millennials. And, a lot of people say millennials are unmotivated, they're lazy. What do you say to that, knowing that you have a crazily growing business right now?
Yeah, I think, millennials are very misunderstood. Most of my friends, they all want to own their own businesses and do their own things. And I think a lot of millennials are striving, to get to the point where they can, try to do something on their own. Because I do think there's that misconception that we're lazy and we don't care. I can tell you right now that millennials are actually very, very passionate. I just know from my friends that they really do. We all kind of want to do our own thing and, have a huge impact.
Wow.
So I do like the fact that we're millennials and, we've seen quick success. Hasn't been without, the occasional valleys, which, every entrepreneur will encounter.
Right.
But there's been a lot of peaks, which have been fantastic for us so far.
So great. Awesome. So now a lot of people think just because you go on Shark Tank, you're a contestant on a TV show. Okay. But you're actually pitching a business opportunity, an investment opportunity. Had you guys pitched investors prior to even applying for Shark Tank?
No, honestly, not like that. I mean, we have met with so many potential partners and, individuals that are interested in crowd therapy, and a few before Shark Tank, but it was never in the capacity that we're really pitching our business for someone to give us a big chunk of money and invest in it. So that was really, our Velocity Crowd Therapy is our first business. And I didn't really take any business courses in college, and neither did my sisters. So we've been kind of learning as we go. But there's no better way to learn than, learning by doing.
Yeah. So, on a national television stage, I'd say you're doing a pretty good job of learning. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the decision, because you are pitching a part of your equity when you go onto the show. What was the thought process